Somebody have a pen I can borrow?
Pen?
Yeah, do you have one?
Give that pen off there. There's a pen on top of it.
Okay, mine's over my suit. I probably won't stretch that far.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
That deal, you want a pencil?
So can your eye was done? It's a little bit.
You prefer a pencil?
No, a pen's fine.
Okay.
I can see that better.
Right there? Okay.
There's enough ambience for you, Jack?
Pardon me?
Enough ambience?
Yeah, fine.
You rolling?
Yes, we are.
Pat, how long have you been here?
I've been in the incubator building for close to 4 years.
Can you just tell us a little bit about what you do, what you produce?
Sure. Panelglide Exhibits manufactures a lightweight, portable exhibit system for trade shows. It's something new in this country anyway. They were introduced initially in Europe as a cost savings device. It's a display that doesn't have to be custom designed and custom built from the ground up. It's a modular exhibit system, and these modules all fit together and pack into a small case that one person can take into a trade show and set up by themselves. We market it all across the country through a network of independent exhibit houses, and we advertise through a direct mail program to medium and small size companies that exhibit at trade shows. Okay.
Did you do this before you came to this building? Were you in another location?
No, we started at this location. Previously, I had been with another exhibit company that they were one of the first exhibit companies to, in this country anyway, to build a portable modular exhibit system. And my background there is I was the controller. I have an accounting background. And it was a small family-owned company, and that was the problem. In a company like that, there's only so far you can go up without being married into the family, which I was married already, so that left that option out. So I started looking around, and I felt that I could do a better job than what they were doing. The problem is I didn't have the money to do it, so I went out looking for the money, and the only way I could get it was through an SBA guaranteed loan, and that's what I did. They gave me $40,000 4 years ago to start out, and this is where I came.
How did you hear about this project?
I heard about the incubator building from an article in the Chicago Tribune, and at that point it was pretty much just at its beginning stages. They had just gotten the money from the government to fix this old building up, and the first time I came down here, I mean, you wouldn't believe what it looked like. The docks were totally demolished. There was one elevator in the whole building that was working. None of the hallways were constructed yet. It was just like one big frame that was falling apart is all that it was. And at that point, when I first visited, I still hadn't even come up with the starting capital yet. So I came back about 4 or 5 months later after I had gotten the SBA loan, and they had done a lot of work in that short period of time. And June Lavelle, the executive director, promised that they were going to do a lot more work, which they have done. And I was convinced at that time that this was a good place to move into.
What makes it a good place to move into for you?
The incubator building is a good place for a startup company to move into. Mainly, our reason was the lack of funds to move anywhere else. Initially, when I got the loan, the SBA loan, the bank that I got it through was asking that I try to move the business nearby. They were trying to get that local area up and moving. The problem was it was all retail type establishments there, and it was on a busy strip where you couldn't move a truck in and out. I've got trucks coming in here all the time, 40-foot trailers, and on a street like that it just wasn't feasible. So I started looking around at more of an industrial type space, and this incubator building, number one, because of the low rent, they were asking about $1.75 a square foot at that time. Everybody else wanted $4, $5 a square foot, and much higher than that up in the suburbs where I was living. They also had shared services, a little office center more or less, where they had a copy machine, a computer, typewriters, secretaries. So that was a lot of machines that I didn't have to invest in initially. I could just use the machines that they had down the hall, take the money that I would have spent on those machines and invest them in things that were more important to get the company up and moving. We invested that money in advertising, which in our business, if you don't advertise, well, in any business, nobody's going to hear about you and you're not going to get the sales. So due to that increased advertising that we were able to put out, we were able to increase our sales and pay off that SBA loan within 2 years as opposed to the 6-year term that they gave us. So it worked out well. We still use the services even after 4 years. Not as much as we did in the past. Some of the things we've got our own typewriter now, happy to say. But I still use their copier. It still makes sense to do that. They charge me 5 cents a copy, and I only make maybe 100 copies a month, so it still pays to use their copier. We have our own computer now, only because we use it so much. We've got everything on there now: accounting, sales, marketing, mailing lists. We'd probably end up tying all the disk space up on their computer if we were to use theirs. So we have our own now. And secretarial service, I'm getting a little bit faster on the typing, so quick letters and things like that I do myself. But I'd say we still use them quite a bit.
Telephone answering?
Right, we use the telephone answering service. We use the postage machines down there. We use them also as sort of a consultant for us. They're good. There's June and David and Bob over there all have pretty good ideas if you're looking for something, or if you want some feedback on a particular advertising piece we're thinking of doing. It always helps to bounce it off one more person. So they're also there to hold your hand, which is one thing that if I had set up this business in a building all by my lonesome, those people just wouldn't have been there.
How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself staying here, or would you?
Eventually, I see us moving out. We would move out because we have a lot of companies out in the suburbs that want to buy our displays, and they want to come into a showroom where you've got maybe 15 or 16 different types of displays set up. And sometimes, most of the time, they don't mind coming downtown. Usually what we do in that case is we pack up a couple of exhibits and we bring it out there and show them, how easy it is to bring in, set up. That's what our whole product is all about. But our competition, unfortunately, has these really nice showrooms 5 minutes away in the suburbs, and we've got to compete. And so that's what, in the long term, maybe 3, 4, 5 years down the road, that's the plan, is to move out into the suburbs, a showroom, and do something out there.
Let's
Okay,
That's nice, very nice. Yeah.
good.
Keep the audio going, Jack. We'll just be chatting now because I've got this for.
All right.
I take it you are from the suburbs, is that right?
Right. I was born on the south side. Live in the suburbs now. Hey, you guys are ready to work, huh?
I guess you never thought you'd come back to the city again.
Not this part of the city.
How do you find security here?
It's really fluctuates from time to time, and we'll go a long time with no problems at all.
Jack, you start saying security, I just didn't say it.
Oh, okay. You're still.
We just maybe want to.
Oh, okay. Security here. It fluctuates from time to time. We'll go for 3 or 4 months when things are real good. There's no problems at all. But then we can hit like a 2-week streak where all of a sudden things start disappearing around here. And until that particular person is caught, it's bad for a while. So as soon as one person gets ripped off, the whole building knows about it, and everybody's quicker to tighten up security themselves, look out for people that they know don't belong in the building. And in the last year or so, since we've had our own security firm move into the building, things have been a lot better. I think the potential burglars see the security car outside, and it looks a lot like a state police car, so they don't even bother coming in anymore. You know, there's so many doors to this building and so many ways to get in. You know, it's hard to keep out people that don't belong in here. You know, with 30 different companies in here, you're not even sure from time to time who does belong in here and who doesn't.
Do you all subscribe to this company if you have to?
No, the security company is paid for by the Industrial Council, so they pick up the whole tab for that. And I'm sure part of our rent goes into that, but we don't have to pay for it directly. There was no additional charge when they came on board. They've worked out a deal with the security firm down the hall where they get their rent free in exchange for, you know, keeping an eye on the building more or less.
Yeah, it's probably a great concern for you when you moved in here.
Security was a big concern when we moved in, because it's not the greatest neighborhood in the world. Crime is up in this area. The first year that I was here, I lost an air compressor. I probably lost 3 or 4 power tools. I had the windows of my car broken 2 or 3 times. That's more of a nuisance than, I mean, you're losing $50 here, $50 there. It's not like, I mean, we didn't lose like a $3,000 computer, but, you know, you got to take time out of your day now, go get your window fixed. You know, that takes like 2 or 3 hours. Take care of the insurance forms, get those filled out to make sure you get reimbursed. It's more of a nuisance than anything else. You know, you're looking around for a power tool that you had 10 minutes ago, and now it's not there. You got to run out to the hardware store and buy another one. And you know, sometimes they'll take the most worthless things. You just don't understand why they're, you know, they see a box sitting on the seat of a car and it's got something in it like yarn, and the window gets broken, they take in the box, and you know, it just gives you a big headache after a while.
So you don't feel, did you ever feel personally scared of, any muggings or anything like that?
No, I never personally felt scared. Like I say, I grew up on the south side. You know, it wasn't a real bad. It wasn't as bad as this neighborhood was. It was, a pretty middle class area that I grew up in. But I've never had any problems about going anywhere in Chicago. You don't want to stay down here late at night, past maybe 8 or 9 o'clock. I park in a enclosed dock down here at the end of the street, so it's not too bad. Previously, we were parking out in the street, and you kind of open the door and you look both ways, make sure there's nobody out there that shouldn't be out there, and then you go in your car. But I've never been mugged or jumped or anything down here, but I don't go walking around the area at 10 o'clock at night either. You just use common sense, and there's no problem.
Well, could you move your left about 2 steps?
So we'll be out later.
One more foot. You don't have to do anything. If you just stand there, I'm just trying to get the stuff back and do your casting shadow.
Okay.
How about that? Okay.
Paul, would you keep an ear open for my phone? Waiting for Mary to call. What's that? David, was there any deliveries this morning? Remind me to call Mid-States Aluminum. Oh yeah, Pat, you'll have it there this week. You can count on it. No, the regular ones. I'm dropping Mid-States.
Fix that left one these days. You got a little,
Oh yeah, a little white spot there. Yeah, we've touched up a lot on that. Yeah. They made a mistake when they did that photo. They should have put a laminate over it to protect it, and they didn't. And now anything little thing will scratch that.
Yep. Up or down.
All right.
thanks, it's very nice.
I looked at the